Well, hello. If you watched my last video, hello again. Welcome back. Thank you for being here. If not, then hello. Nice to meet you. My name is Melissa, and I decided that for the month of July, I was going to focus on a bunch of J horror, Japanese horror. So today I'm going to talk about the few things that I've watched kind of recently and the few things that I am really trying to put on my watch list for the rest of this month. I have I have a very beautiful stack right here. And these are most of the movies that we're going to be talking about, with the exception of one or two. A lot of these are bootlegs. So you'll find that some of this stack is just going to be me like having to watch the things that I've bought on accident. I'd say that I'm still very much at like the tip of the iceberg as far as my Japanese horror viewing goes. That's why I wanted to give myself a little bit of a mission to get through like some of the stuff that's been sitting on my shelf and some of the movies that I've maybe like been a little scared of for a few years and just force myself to do it. Because recently I have been kind of pushing through a couple movies that like scared me previously, and I think it's just given me some encouragement. Also went to a horror con recently, and there was a lovely gentleman who had like a massive uh really cheap table of Japanese horror bootlegs. That's where I found my copy of Tetsuo for like $10. And I was just so excited about that. I went back to I went back to this guy's table for seconds at the end because I had a few bucks left and these movies were like $5. That's where I ended up mistakenly buying a few things that I thought were other movies. It happens. The heat of the moment. The Tetsuo bootleg is a great example because like there's nothing is in English. Oh, well, it does say Tetsuo, the Iron Man, but that is it. That's it. Others didn't even have like the titles in English, so I was just trying to like remember posters. First movie that I'm going to talk about, seeing it kind of gave me the kick in the butt to fully go with the J Horror July thing, and that is Tokyo Gore Police that I watched on the last drive-in with Joe Bob Briggs this past Friday. It's another one of the heavy hitter kind of splatterpunk J horror films. So I was very excited to watch it, especially because the first movie that we watched on Joe Bob that night was I Spit on Your Grave. So this was like a real palate cleanser. And this is a movie about the police being privatized. So think about how bad I Spit on Your Grave was for this to be a palate cleanser. We're in futuristic Tokyo, where the police have been privatized. A group of mechanical mutilators called the Engineers kind of rise up to battle against the private police. They have genetically modified themselves so that every time you hurt them or shoot them, or, you know, there's a whole scene with one of the main guys ripping the top of his head off, and then he has these insane like laser, almost snail-esque eyes like pop out of his head. So anywhere that you hurt them, they grow a new mechanical or fleshy or even animal part to defend themselves with. If you've read Uzumaki, some of the creatures in this movie, like there is this like freaky strip club where there's these three women and one of them is a snail lady. It reminded me of Uzumaki a lot. It was very shocking. Kind of in that same part of the movie, there's another main woman on the engineer's side who gets like her bottom part shot off, blasted off, whatever. The whole bottom part of her body turns into like a crocodile mouth. It's crazy. And the creature creation and the practical effects and all of that, it's so good that it looks so real. It's really freaky and so unsettling. Some of the freakiest, goriest, and nastiest things that I have ever seen in my life I've seen in these movies. It encourages me to keep going. The director, Yoshiro Nishimura, I believe. There's going to be a lot of me butchering names in this. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. He has practical effects roots. I love that. Is like my favorite movie to watch. If I find out that a director came from the makeup department, I want to see the movie immediately. And this is a movie that like lives up to everything that I'd want from something created by a man so involved in practical effects. The blood splatter is insane. And also, just again, like back to the surreal weirdness of this movie, because self mutilation is a very big topic in this world. Like cutting and harming yourself is it's popular. It's like a fashion statement. In that, it kind of reminded me of like Repo the Genetic Opera a little bit. It always goes back to Repo the Genetic Opera. But if you like Repo, I really think you'd like this movie a lot, because it's that same kind of like mutilation as a weapon or a statement. So they're like selling, there's little commercial breaks in this movie where they're just like selling designer knives and encouraging self harm. It's very interesting. There's a twist ending, a weird like family drama kind of wrapped into this with our lead woman Ruka, played by Aihi Shina. Incredible, incredible performance. She transforms in insane ways throughout the movie. It just gets more and more badass. A very fun watch. So fun that I wanted to keep going with all of the J horror I have on my shelf. Thank you, Joe Bob, as always. Another recent watch, and another one that I feel like is one of the most popular in the J horror space, Suicide Club. As I say that, I'm getting concerned that I could even say that on YouTube. There's a lot in here that I'm a little worried for, but oh well, I'm really not that important. Maybe I'll maybe I'll fly into the radar. Suicide Club is another absolute freaking gore fest. The opening of this movie, 54 schoolgirls in a train station. They all grasp hands and take a leap. Guess where? As the train is coming, and what an opening scene. Like it immediately lives up to its name. Like I'm happy it's so ridiculous given the subject matter, because I was a little like you get a little scared what you're about to go into. There's just such an obscene amount of blood and limbs flying and hitting people. It's funny. It's pretty funny. These movies also have like such a weird sense of humor. It's another reason that I love them so much. This movie is really interesting because it kind of goes back and forth between these really intense slash oddly funny, often group deaths, and cop plot. Because the weird mystery at the center of this movie is why all of these group suicides are happening. All of the people who commit are missing a piece of skin, and they are trying to figure out why this is happening. It's very interesting that this came out in 2001 as well, because I feel like it's one of those movies that has just continued to be like socially, I don't know, socially relevant, I guess. If your parents have ever been like, if your friend told you to jump off of a cliff, would you jump off of a cliff? Like, this is that movie. There's a scene in this movie where, a lot of these group actions or whatever as they happen, it starts as a joke, and then it's not a joke. It gets very culty. There's even like a important plot line, I guess, to this pop band called Dessert that everyone's obsessed with. Completely separate from Dessert, there is a glam rock music number with the cult leader. This band calls himself the Charles Manson of the internet age. So you put all of these things together, I think you have a good feeling of what this movie is and what it's trying to say, and what to expect. If you like Perfect Blue, the whole pop culture element, I think that you could find some fun in this movie. If you like Perfect Blue, and if you like Saw, I think you'd really like this movie because it is like a lot of cop plot. After this, we'll be getting into some more, I don't know, obscure stuff, I guess you could say. But first, of course, I had to throw Tetsuo, the Iron Man, in here because this is just the movie. Like I said, finding this at that bootleg table is kind of what spurred me to grab so many other things. I was so excited. I heard about this movie for so long and just had not been able to watch it. So I was thrown. And it was absolutely like everything that I could have ever wanted. Filmed in black and white with a very low budget and a very, very small cast and crew. Tetsuo the Iron Man is about a metal fetishist driven mad by maggots and a self-inflicted wound. One night going so crazy from all of the maggots eating his flesh, he runs out into the night and is run down by a couple who are driving. Instead of doing the right thing, this couple chooses to just dispose of and hide the body and try to keep it pushing. Sounds like a curse, right? Man is now cursed. Slowly, the businessman, which is, I think, even the businessman or the salaryman is all that this actor is credited as. Slowly, all of his flesh starts to turn into a metal abomination. If you've ever heard of the drill dick, black and white dude with a bunch of wires coming out and a drill uh between his legs. That's a little video that I feel like I see go around a lot sometimes, but I don't think people always know what it's from. That's Tetsuo. The degradation into this like mechanical monster thing, it's like one of the most beautiful and disturbing things that I've ever seen in my life. It's so impressive, the effects work. Watch it again really soon because this was something that I watched like a month or two ago. But I think I remember even like some crazy claymation work. Like everything was so DIY. It feels elevated. It reminds me, it's the only movie that I will ever say reminds me of David Lynch's Eraserhead. I believe that it was inspired by that. I really want to do that double feature. It's the only other movie that I've seen that is that black and white dread, panic, horrifying, existential down to like the way that dust is filmed in the air. Like it's horrifying. It's Eraserhead just wrapped in like grinding metal. Most of these movies, it's also like oddly funny. It's so tragic. It's an absolute masterpiece. I'm glazing over it a little faster because, like I said, I think it's like one of the most popular movies in this stack. I'm mostly also talking about it to talk about my next movie, which is Tetsuo's like weird cousin. But I couldn't just not mention this movie. And if you somehow have not seen it yet, put it at the top of the list. Whatever, J horror watches that you're going to do, you need to see Tetsuo. It is foundational. So this is one that I'm really excited to talk about. This is a movie that I honestly might even do like a completely separate video about. I don't understand how it's flown so under the radar. I didn't know about this. This is one of the movies sent to me in a stack, like a random stack of J horror from my cousin a few years back. I'm sure that he knows the Tetsuo connection. I had no clue. I am very thankful that I found out about this. Right now, this only has 150 letterbox logs, so like very underseen. And that is id. When I say this is Tetsuo's creepy cousin, I mean that in the way of they are literally kind of family. This was directed, written, edited, starred in. She also did the cinematography, everything basically, by Kei Fujiwara, who plays the girlfriend in Tetsuo, and also did a bunch of the costume design. And she did so much uncredited work on Tetsuo, as far as I understand, heavily credited as well, but that was a very small production. And she brought that very DIY, impressive, surreal art style to two other films, Id and Organ. I have not seen Organ. I want to as of this moment, but Id seems to be the more underseen one. It's also one that I'm going to rewatch this month that I watched within the last few months, but I want to circle back to it to be able to just have more of a grasp because I've thought about it kind of in the back of my head since that first watch. It is so bizarre and weird and hard to pin down like how to even describe the story. So there's hardly even a story going on. A lot of this movie is just like the horrible, awful, senseless violence that can happen if you let it. For example, the Letterboxd description is just like 2 lines, and it just says, "A man wanders through the woods. The sound of water flowing deep underground fills his head." Meanwhile, this DVD kind of just gives a couple of definitions of the id in different ways. Our unconscious contains all our selfish drives and desires. Our conscious keeps these instincts in check, repressing them in order to maintain the civility required by society. But what happens when the id takes control and is allowed to run free? Between the letterbox description and that definition on the box, I think it really does the best summing up of this movie that you're going to be able to do. This is a freaking bleak, sad, feel bad, senselessly violent, bizarre body horror movie. As expected, like you're in for insane effects work, insane body horror. There is a pig puppet in the latter half of this movie. I think you can you see that? Can you see him? Crazy. The ending is literally explosive. Yeah, but they also compare the influence of violence, brimming with raw and unbridled creativity. Yup, that sums it up. This one's weird as hell, and I just want more people to see it, just to even get more people talking about it. What did I see? What do you think? Please, everyone, find id. It's very underloved, and I cannot believe that it's so underwatched with the Tetsuo connection. It seems like Kei's first movie, Organ, is even like significantly more popular than id, and I wonder why. My last recent rewatch that I am also going to make sure that I get in this month is House. This is another really popular one. I am really excited to have this. It's another bootleg that I purchased at the Horror Con, but I'm excited to have it because it's a really rare Japanese horror that I think that my fiance is going to be able to sit through and really enjoy. It's like cartoon horror. It's listed as a horror comedy. The kills are so goofy and ridiculous, and the effects are so, kind of, it's charming. It's not bad, it's charming. This is the movie infamously, if you've seen a video or a gif or whatever of a little girl getting eaten by a piano. House. In a lot of ways, it is like a traditional witch story. A girl named Gorgeous. The names in this movie are also so good. I'm about 99% sure there's a character named Kung Fu. I would verify with the back of the box, but it's all in Japanese. And I'm filming on my phone, so no fact checking here, unfortunately, that I don't previously think of. It's your worst preteen sleepover nightmares come true. This girl brings all of her friends to visit her like estranged weird aunt in the woods. Obviously, she's a witch. Come on. My mic just died. So I had to stop, and I think I remember what I was saying. If you like fairy tales, this is very Hansel and Gretel. It's very classic witch. Even if you like, if you like weird like folk horror and you want something kind of different, bizarro, watch House. It just has so many of those classic tropes. I think that you would really like it. This movie also features one of the best cats ever in cinema. The cat is such a main character. I actually have like one of the rare, and again, it's probably just because this is a bootleg, but there is like an orange cat that's typically always the cover of this movie. It's actually this precious little fluffy baby, worth watching just for her. That was the last movie in the stack that would be a revisit or that I've seen before, and everything else on this list is things that I have never seen. So we're just going to do a quick synopsis. First on the list that I don't actually own in this stack is pretty readily available to watch from what I've seen. That is Ichi the Killer. This has been a movie that scares me for a while. I also totally like had it mixed up with another movie. I had thought that I'd seen it. I don't even know what I was confusing it with. But no, I've definitely not seen this. Ichi the Killer was made by the same director who did Audition. So maybe that even just freaks me out, knowing where audition goes, even though I really love that movie. The synopsis of this one just seems a little more, a little scarier coming from this guy. I know what you do. Ichi is a repressed psychotic killer found by a Yakuza enforcer who realizes that Ichi can probably inflict pain beyond anything that this uncreative man could ever imagine. I understand the other character in the synopsis is maybe even more of a main character than Ichi. I don't even think that is Ichi on the poster, which is funny because the poster is another contribution to, like, there's something about it that just freaks me out that I have just kept it pushing whenever I scroll past it. With all of the pretty disturbing stuff that I've been knocking off my list recently, I'm just feeling strong and confident. And I think I'd be really proud of myself if I finally freaking watched Ichi the Killer. The next movie, I have to cover most of this box with my hand because I don't think that YouTube is a fan of even tasteful bloody side boob. Gun Woman. Another bootleg pickup from this horror con that I went to recently, and another one of my accidental pickups. What got me here was Asami and Kurando Mitsutaki's Gun Woman. I got Asami, this actress, mixed up with a fake Asami from Audition, I believe. I just saw the name and I thought that the cover was really cool and I just got excited and it was $5. You know how it happens. Not the movie that I was thinking of. And when I went to look it up later, it's another one that only has a couple thousand reviews. I have one mutual that saw it. They gave it half a star, but you know what? If it stinks, that's my penance. I'm intrigued by the concept though. A doctor buys a young woman and trains her to be an assassin. He implants gun parts in her body that she must assemble and use to kill her target before bleeding to death. That sounds like a saw trap. I don't I I'm interested because I don't understand why we're making the ultimate assassin and then like hiding the gun, hiding the parts inside. Like, it makes me, we'll see. We'll see, because I'm confused. Really just sounds like a saw trap. The last one of my accidental bootleg buys that I'm going to actually watch this month is a Chronicle of the After School Wars. Something about this cover, I think it's this girly right here with the little rabbit mask, and something about these like really cutesy little girly pop skulls in the logo. I was definitely thinking like Psycho Gothic Lolita, which after I then looked at that poster again, I'm embarrassed because how would I ever confuse these? Once again, this stuff was all in Japanese and I was overexcited. I went to look this up on Letterboxd, of course. It only has 57 logs, and the initial tagline made me really chuckle. So I'm actually really excited to get to this. It says, "It is not tag. It is not battle royale. It is battle royale tag." Oh my god. That sounds so ridiculous. I'm so excited. I also then like looked up some of the 57 reviews that I had the option of, and apparently this is also really gay, really sapphic. So now I'm more excited. A girl named Senna going onto the school rooftop to meet someone. This girl does not come to meet her. She falls asleep. When she wakes up, the school is bloody red and the girls have to fight to the death to survive. Okay, again, interesting. I don't understand what they're escaping from or what the battle is, but it seems gay and bloody, so we're gonna watch it. And the last that I have on physical that I am definitely wanting to get to this month. This is another like absolute classic from what I understand. Evil Dead Trap. I had this confused with Bloody Muscle Bodybuilder from Hell because they both have that Evil Dead connection. This is literally called Evil Dead Trap, and Bloody Muscle Bodybuilder from Hell is literally Japanese Evil Dead. That's how I got them confused. This is not Japanese Evil Dead. This is snuff tapes and some cop plot too, from what I understand. I heard heavy cop plot. A talk show host who asks her audience to send in their home videos and gets something absolutely freaking horrible. Apparently, they recognize where this snuff tape was filmed and they go to the building to track it down, but whoever's been recording the tapes is waiting for them there, and torture ensues. Allegedly, there is some really obvious inspiration here that James Wan would then take for the Saw franchise that I can't stop mentioning in this video for some reason. It all goes back to Saw, baby. But I'm excited. I'm very excited to check it out. I also realized that on the back, another reason that I got this mixed up with Muscle Bodybuilder from Hell is because this guy has like a little gag in his mouth. There's a scene in that other movie where he has an eyeball in his mouth. I'm just looking at these things really quickly and getting confused, and that's my fault. And that's why we're here, really. J Horror July to continue to educate myself here because I need to be educated. No, but genuinely, I was really excited for this because I just love to have the extra kick. Japanese horror has given me some of the most ridiculous, nasty, uncomfortable things that I've ever seen in my entire life recently. And I love it. Japanese horror is on a whole other freaking playing field. I already know that there is a bunch more movies that I have to watch that I completely forgot. There's stuff going through my brain literally right now that I could have added to my watch list for the month that I still might add to my watch list for the month. I don't think I'll do an update video, but if you are at all interested, you can follow me on Letterboxd. I'll put somewhere. Definitely in the description if I forget to edit it in because it's really, really, really hot and my brain is melting. If you watched this whole video, thank you so much. If you want to participate in J Horror July, let me know your list or let me know if there's any other movies that I egregiously forgot about or need to see desperately. I would really love to hear them. And once again, I'm very new to this, but I'm trying to do a video every week. And subscribe if you would like to hear me yab more. Thank you so much. Hope you're having an incredible morning, afternoon, or evening. And I hope that wherever you are, you have a lot of bloody movies to watch and air conditioning. Bye.